Hi, Paul Higgins here. What we're going to look at in this tutorial is a utility called the List Charts utility. And what it does, it creates a list of all the caps and MB tiles in a certain directory. Now once you've got that list, clicking a chart in the list will put the upper left latitude and longitude in the clipboard. Now you wonder how useful that is, and I'm going to show you later. For MB tiles, clicking on it will optionally invoke the MB tiles viewer or display the position on Google Earth. For caps, you can display the file on the chart on Google Earth or in the view exec. So we're going to show you all that. Now the first thing I want to show you is how you start the utility. You can go to Sat2Chart, and in Sat2Chart down here there's a utilities list on the second panel. If that's not open, just press this long button, and in the utilities list you will find List Charts, and if you click that it will start it. The other way to start it is to go to the directory where Sat2Chart is installed, and you will find in there a List Charts Rex program, and if you double click that, it'll start it. And if you may want to be using this program a lot because it's very useful, so you might want to make a shortcut, and that's exactly what I've done. So if I go to my desktop, and here's the shortcut I created for it, for the list charts. So if I double click it, it starts the utility. And it also starts a command prompt. And the command prompt is there if something goes wrong and it's taken too long, or you think it's in a loop, come here and issue a Control+C in the command prompt, or you can just close the command prompt. So here's the utility itself. Okay, here are the fields in the utility. There's a message box up here that tells you what you should be doing. So the first thing you should do is fill in the directory where the MB tiles are. So you click this button here, and I have everything on the E drive, so I go there, and I bought a bunch of miscellaneous MB tiles that we're going to look at. So you save that. And we are going to do an export, so we'll select the place where we want to export to, and then we will simply press the List Charts button or List button and see what happens, and it started to list them all that are in that miscellaneous directory. And once it's finished, I'll show you what we can do. Okay, let's see what we can do. If we click a chart in the list, it'll put the upper left latitude and longitude in the clipboard. Now, why is that useful? Well, suppose you just create a bunch of charts and you don't know where they are. So you want to find out where a particular chart is. So I go back to the list here. Let's take this here Davos MB tiles. If we click it, what it did, it put the upper left, lower right into the clipboard. And we'll prove that by going to the OpenCPN here, and we'll create a new mark. And because we're looking for Davao, we'll call it Davao. And if we go down to the latitude and longitude and right click here, it gives you an option to paste the lat and longitude if it's in the clipboard, and there it is. So we create it. And now we got that there mark. If we want to find out where it is, we just click center view, and there it is. It went right to Davao, and so now we know where that their particular chart is, right there. You can actually see it. Okay, so that's the first option. Okay, now let's look at some of the things we can do for an MB Tiles. It optionally can invoke the MB Tiles viewer. Let's try that. Go back to our list here, and here is an MB Tiles. It's the only one that's got multiple zoom levels. Again, it's Devao. So if I click this invoke, or check that invokes MB Tiles viewer, and then select that entry, it will bring up the MB Tiles viewer, and it will fill in the name here of the chart, and it will tell you all the zoom levels. And now you could go and view those images in those zoom levels. Okay, we're not going to do that, but that's what it can do. Okay, the second thing it can do is display the position on Google Earth. So if you want to know where that particular chart is and what the area looks like, you can display it on Google Earth. So we'll try that. Let's go back to our chart here, and we'll pick someplace else. How about the Varadero, and we'll uncheck that and check Invoke Google Earth, and we'll click Varadero. So what it does, it brings up, or if Google Earth is already up, so what it did is positioned it right to the place where that chart is, so we know exactly where it is. Okay, that's all for that option. Okay, those are the options for MB Tiles. Now let's look at for caps. For a cap part chart, it'll display it on Google Earth, or the view exec will show it. So let's try it on Google Earth. We'll go back to our, where are they? Over here. Okay, we're going to pick this here, we're going to pick the Devao Navionics Marine chart. So we'll click that. And we have Invoke Google Earth set here. Okay. So it'll bring up Google Earth again. And it put the information in Google Earth, but we'll have to actually open the View tab here, or the sidebar rather, and we see it's there. And it positions it to Devao again. And this is the actual chart. So you can see the actual Navionics chart there at that place on Google Earth. Okay, so that is the option for that. Okay, the second thing it can do for a cap is view it on the view.exe direct program that comes with Sat2Chart. So if we go back to our charts here and we pick one, that's the Varadero one again, and we're not going to invoke Google Earth, so we'll uncheck this and we'll click this one, Varadero. So what it does now, it invokes the view.exe program, and it will display what the chart looks like. And there it is. So it's the view program. And if we go down here, we'll actually see the chart. And there's what it looks like. I'm not sure showing it's an avionics chart, and you can't actually edit this, but you can just view it. So that's how you view it for a cap chart. Okay, the next thing we can do is to export all the entries in the list to a text file. So let's go back to our list here, and all we have to do, we've set up the directory where we want to put it. We just hit the export button, and it says exporting 11 items, and it's complete. So if we go to that directory, it's right there. And if we open it, there's our entire list in the that we put in the export file. Okay. Okay, the next thing we can do is we can put the entire entry, one entry, into the clipboard. So if we go back to our list here, and what you do is you hover over a entry, and that's, whoops, not supposed to do that. Just hover over some entry for 2 seconds, and once you've hovered over it, what you do is you go to your keyboard and you press the insert key, and that should actually put that entry into the clipboard. And if we go to our place here, and there it is, the entire entry is in the clipboard. Or, I don't know why you want to do that, but the option exists. Now, to use the Google Earth functions, you have to have Google Earth Pro installed, of course, and the default program for KML files must be on Google Earth. So if it doesn't bring up Google Earth, go to your settings and look for the KML entry and see it is set for Google Earth. Okay, I've showed you the purpose of the program. I show you what happens when you just click a chart, put the latitude and longitude in the clipboard. We looked at all the options for MB Tiles. You can invoke the MB Tiles viewer or display it on the position on Google Earth. And for cap charts, you can display the actual chart on Google Earth, or you can also invoke the view exit. Thank you for watching.